Hello everybody, welcome back. In this video, we shall look at the concept of direction and how we can use it to make things bounce off surfaces. For example, say we have a ball or another sprite which is traveling in a certain direction. It hits a horizontal surface and then reflects back. We shall see how what happens to the direction of the sprite as it bounces back from this surface, as it reflects from the surface, and how we can use that to create things, create games where we need to have sprite or a ball bouncing off a surface. All right, so to do so, uh, here I've created a small piece of code where I have a simple ball sprite, right? So I just call it, let's say, call it a ball, right? And in this code, I say when flag clicked, go to 0, 0, which means go to the center. And I use a block called point in direction 0, right? I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail as we go along. And then I say forever, move 5 steps. If you're touching the edge, which means you are, say this, any of these edges, start the sound called pop, so small pop sound comes. And if you're on the edge, please bounce, right? So what I want you to do is to see, first thing, let's see what this code does, and then we can start digging deeper into what does direction really mean. Yeah, so let's see this code, right? So in this case, it, as I said, the ball goes, hits the edge and then bounces off, right? And that's all it keeps doing, because that's all we are telling it to do. Forever move 5 steps, play the sound if on the edge, and then bounce back, right? Now the question is, how do we control the direction in which this sprite is going, right? So ball, remember, is a sprite. uh, the answer to that question really lies in this quantity, in this variable or this property called direction, right? So let me just highlight the ball direction here. Now you can also see the ball direction at this location right here, right? So notice we have x, y, size, and then direction. So direction really is like a property of that sprite. Of course, because just like x and y, we can also change it, right? So it's very useful that way, right? Now, what does direction 0 mean, right? uh, Really, this has to do with concepts of angles and geometry, which most students would learn probably starting, say, fifth year of their primary education, so class 5 or beyond. However, amazingly, Scratch can become a tool for us to understand those concepts. And why I say this is because there's a block called point in direction, right? Now, if I click on, right now it's set to 0. However, if I click on this 0 there, what I get is a very interesting tool which tells me how I can use this direction, right? So for instance, right now it's 0, and you notice there's an arrow here which is pointing upwards, right? So when I run this code, basically ball starts going upwards, right? Now, let's say I change this to, say, 45, right? So this number has become 45. For those of you who know angles, they would realize that basically this 45 is the angle in degrees of this line, this ray, with respect to the vertical, right? So it's this angle. But if you do not know angles, worry not, because this arrow is where the direction is pointed. So when I say 45, if you know the angle, very good, right? If you do not, no problem. It's basically saying that the ball is going to travel in a inclined direction as given by this arrow, right? Let's see, convince ourselves. So when I do this, right, notice ball direction is 45, and indeed the ball went, let's see it again, the ball went in that direction, right? Now let's take one more example. Let's say the ball is 30, right? Again, it's 30-degree angle. However, we don't need to know, because ball is basically going to travel the arrow direction, right? So when I click this, remember ball is going in 30, and then it's exactly the same as arrow, right? What happens if I want the ball to go downwards? Well, again, use the arrow. If you know angles, that's good. 120 means ball will be here. It will start going in that direction, because as you notice, the arrow is pointed in that direction, right? So when I see this, the ball is going in that direction, right? Now, Important geometry concept would be a right angle, which is 90 degrees, which is basically ball in this case going horizontally. That's because, now this angle is 90 degrees. It's exactly the two lines are perpendicular. If you know angles, that's good. Otherwise, just go with the arrow. You do this, ball goes to 90. Another important angle would be 180, which is this angle, right? So what I suggest to my students who are still not familiar with the concepts of angle is just play with the dial and observe what number it's going to, rather than trying to put an angle. So that's actually a good way to also learn mathematics and geometry, right? Now if I did 180, ball will basically go downwards as indicated by the arrow, right? So ball goes downwards, right? Now you might wonder what happens to the ball if I want it to go, let's say, in this direction, right? Now, in sprite language, this is minus 90 degrees, right? So this is basically, why is it minus 90? Because everything is being measured from the vertical line. So instead of turning 90 degrees this way, 90, remember, was a horizontal arrow. We have gone the other direction, right? So this is minus 90 and the ball would go in minus 90, right? So this is useful. It's what makes it supremely useful is this arrow, because it basically makes it possible for anybody to use this, even if you do not exactly know what this direction really means, right? So I want everybody to get familiar with this and use this, right? Now I want to move on to a slightly different concept, which is what is happening to this direction when our sprite is bouncing off the surface, right? So what I mean is that I want you to focus either here on this direction or on this direction here. I mean, this basically the same thing, everything both the same. Let's see what happens before and after the bounce, right? So I will, for this purpose, what I'll do is I'll make the ball go a little bit slower, right? So what I have is ball is going at 0. Now notice the direction is 0 because remember 0 was upward. The moment it hit, right, it started going exactly opposite direction, and notice the direction has become 180, right? Now again it's going to hit, it hits, and once again the direction becomes 0, right? Now this is actually somewhat familiar if you think about it. If you really had a ball which you throw to a wall, right, the ball will come back to you in the opposite direction, right? So it's getting sort of reflected, right? Now let's say I change this value to 10, right? So how do I make it 10? Well, just move right direction. Say I move it a little bit so that 15 is this. Now if I make it, let's say we leave it 15, right? So basically, as we have seen, 15 means going in a slightly inclined direction upwards, right? What I want you to do is to focus on this point or on this point, either of the two. Just fix your eyes on that and we'll see what's happening to the ball after the pop sound, which means after the reflection has happened, right? So let's see this. Notice ball is going in 15. It's 15 here, 15 here. Now it's about to bounce. There's a pop sound, it bounced, and suddenly the direction is 165, right? And notice it's 165 here, 165 here too, right? Let's see this again, right? So we have the ball going at 15. Ball is about to hit the surface. It hits, and because we are using if on edge bounce, post bouncing, the direction is 165, right? Now let's say we try 30 degrees, right? So what will happen? 30 degrees is a little bit more inclined, right? As you can see from the arrow, 15 was kind of like this. Notice 15 here and this arrow. If I move this arrow a little further, it becomes 30. And now the ball seems to be going a bit more inclined. Direction here is 30. Bounce happened and direction became 150, right? Uh, let's try one more number. Let's say I tried, say, 45, right? So now maybe 45 is a bit too much. Um, the reason it's too much is because ball is going to hit this corner, right? So it's going to get a little bit confusing. So what I'll do is for 45, I'll make the ball start from slightly more left, right? So let's say I make it minus 100. So ball goes to minus 100. Now it's going at 45. I want you to notice what happens once it hits this surface and bounces off. Pop sound bounced off, the direction has become 135, right? What am I getting at, right? So the rule that I'm trying to drive here is that post bouncing, post reflection, the direction of the ball becomes 180 minus the original direction. So notice when I had point in direction 0, right? Ball goes at 0, right? It's traveling at 0. It's pop bounces and it becomes 180 because it's 180 minus the original direction, right? In fact, the same holds when it goes and hits this bottom surface, right? It's 180 now. It will go and become 180 minus 180, which is 0, right? So basically, ball post bouncing goes in a direction of 180 minus 0. I'm sorry, 180 minus the original direction, right? Let's see one more example here, right? Say it was 15, as you remember, ball was traveling at 30. So I'm sorry, I made it 30 here. Ball was initially traveling at 30, but after bouncing, it became 150. Why 150? Because that is 180, 180 minus 30, right? So let's see this for ourselves here. Ball is traveling at 30 degrees, going, pop, and now the direction is 150, right? Uh, we can take one more example, probably say the ball going at 45, right? 45 is here, it's going to go even more slanted. But once again, post bouncing, its direction would be 180 minus 45, which is 135, right? Uh, you should experiment yourself to convince that the same happens when it goes below here, right? So for instance, when I set the ball direction to 150, let's say 150, post reflection, the direction would be 180 minus 150, which is 30, right? So it will be ball is going at 150. Notice now, post reflection, it's going to become 30, right? As we had predicted. So essentially, by changing the ball direction from its original direction to new direction, which is 180 minus 30, I can give the ball a sense of having bounced off a horizontal surface. Now, that horizontal is important because the same will not hold when the surface is, for example, this. And you could try this yourself at your time. Basically, make the ball go and hit this wall and see what happens to the angle, right? But for now, we are focused on just a horizontal plane, which is the sleeping line. So if the ball hits a horizontal line, either here, or in fact any other sprite, then if we change the direction by if we change the direction from original direction to 180 minus the original direction, it will create a sense of bouncing. All right, let's convince ourselves by creating a new sprite. So I'm going to paint a sprite, and this sprite is very simple. Let's say kind of a pedal, right? So it need not be so thick. I'll make the pedal, let's say, red in color, right? And I will select this and make it quite thin, right? So make it really thin. So if I, let's say, did this and I move this to the center, let's say in case of and I call it, let's say, the pedal, right? So I come here, now I'm in the pedal code. Let's say I say when flag clicked, right? Say I make it go to, perhaps I can make it go to, say, y of minus 150, right? So it will essentially go somewhere here, right? Now let's say I want the ball to bounce off this pedal, right? So how can I do that, right? So it's very simple. I can go to the ball code. Remember, this is a horizontal surface, a sleeping line, right? And also remember that when bouncing, the ball's direction changes from original direction to 180 minus the original direction, right? So all I have to do is I say, look, I put event when flag clicked forever. I go to a sensing block, say control if, and I say touching pedal. Now is the important point, right? I use an operator, right? which is this something minus something. I go to direction and I say point in direction, point in direction. Remember, if the original direction was whatever, that original direction is given by this quantity called direction. So I can drag, and this is in motion. I can drag this here, and here I can write 180 minus direction, because that is what we learned from this part of the code when the ball was bouncing off the edges, right? So if I change this to 180 minus direction, what you notice is now the ball is going 150, it's going to hit the pedal and bounce back, right? So it's as though we can try this again. Maybe at, I'll move this to the center. Let's try, perhaps we'll make it go at, let's say, 165, right? So the ball is going at 165. Notice it touches the pedal and the direction became 15, because we made the direction from the original direction, which was this direction, to 180 minus that direction, right? And that caused an effect of the ball appearing to bounce off the surface, right? Now, in the brick breaking game, this is used many times because effectively the ball bounces off the pedal and the ball also bounces off the bricks, right? And this is a simple concept, right? So let's just recap. Direction in sprite in scratch is always given with respect to the vertical line. If you know angles, very good. It's basically the angle between the, this ray and this vertical line. If you do not know angles, right, do not worry, look at the arrow. You know which, that basically the arrow is telling you where the ball is headed, right? That's the one concept. Number two, when the ball bounces off a horizontal surface, right, its direction changes from whatever direction to 180 minus that direction, right? So we can exploit that property by setting the direction to 180 minus direction, and hence create the effect that the ball is bouncing off a surface, right? That's actually very, very useful in a lot of things, right? Okay, so with that, I'm done. Uh, Thank you very much for watching. Uh, I hope this is enjoyable. In fact, these are interesting rules of physics, of science, and geometry, which you will learn in later classes, and it will become that much easier for you. But for now, remember, Scratch can also be a good tool to learn mathematics. All right, take care. Bye bye. Thank you.